if you guys saw the viral video of the woman claiming that she had an encounter with a vampire as a Lyft driver. Since her video, so many people have come forward with their own experiences with vampires, a lot of them being Uber and Lyft drivers. There's people that are saying that this aligns with hysteria, and also people just being like, did you just interact with someone who was goth? I would honestly like to argue the other side, because there is one particular case on vampires that messes me up so badly, and that is this guy right here. My theory is that he potentially is the reason that people are seeing vampires in New Orleans and Chicago. I want you to imagine that you got invited to a party, potentially maybe even a reunion. You check the guest list to see who's invited, and you recognize a name. You realize, wait, that's that guy that I hooked up with a country away decades ago. And when you arrive to the party and see him, you are startled by the fact that it looks like he hasn't aged a day. But you decide to approach him. Sir, did you have a dad living in Venice like 50 years ago? And he responds with, no ma'am, I was living in Venice 50 years ago. Impossible. The person that I used to date was 45 at the time, and sir, you don't look a day over 45. And this man just smiles back at you. This is a recorded interaction that happened between Countess von Georgi and Count St Germain that happened in a little soiree in Versailles, when this elderly woman was shook to see that the person that she had hooked up with back in 1710 hadn't aged a day in 50 years. Count St Germain, this dude right here, is shrouded in so many different mysteries, so many different identities, so many different talents, and a theory that he is a vampire. Where exactly this count came from is a little hazy, but we do know allegedly that he was the son of the exiled prince of Transylvania, and that he was rich. This man could do anything. His career was an alchemist, and he was able to turn metal into gold, but he was an amazing painter, a violin prodigy, ambidextrous, said to be able to write like 2 papers at once with both hands, and knew how to speak French, German, Dutch, Spanish, Portuguese, Russian, English, and even a little bit of Chinese, Latin, Arabic, ancient Greek, and Sanskrit. What? How? Okay, so he's impressive. Because of this stellar resume, he had the in with King Louis XV back in 1740. This guy was like, okay, you know everything, Mr. Germain. We're gonna be besties. He showed the king how he does alchemy, and then all the royal courts low-key were like, he's kind of hot, and he continues to stay hot. Do you think it's possible that because he does so much alchemy, he like figured out some sort of elixir for life? No, there's no way that could be true. In 1760, King Louis decided to throw a party at his mistress's house. That's whenever people witnessed the interaction between him and Countess von Georgi. She questioned him. His response to her was, ma'am, I'm old. In 1763, Mr. Germain met this guy, and he's recorded in his book stating that he was 300 years old and knew all the secrets to universal medicine. In 1765, he traveled to Russia, in which he was complicit in the conspiracy to put Catherine the Great on the throne. In 1774, he went back to France, in which he became Marie Antoinette's advisor, telling her about her own 15 years in advance. He was recorded to be about 40-45 during this time as well. In 1779, he went to Germany and then was close to Prince Charles, where he reportedly told him that he was 88 years old, and then proceeded to show Prince Charles how he made all of his jewelry and gems, etc., etc. Charles ended up setting him up in an abandoned factory so that he was able to make all of his jewels and gemstones in peace. He continued to do this for 5 years, and then Count St. Germain died on February 27th, 1784. This is where the story on this guy's life would end, right? Well, no, not even a little. I just want to know what I just realized filming this. I just realized that vampire hunting in the United States was going on the exact same time as the Wild West. Like, there was like quite a bit of overlap there. I don't know what it is, but I just don't picture people running around with garlic the same time as there's like outlaws. Anyways, part 2 on St. Germain. Famous philosopher Voltaire is reported saying that St. Germain is a man who never dies and who knows everything. After St. Germain's death, they noticed that he didn't have any living relatives, so they just auctioned off his stuff. But 1785 and onward, the sightings of this man persisted. One of the most notable ones being in 1785, whenever he was having a discussion with very prominent leaders in the Freemasons. He allegedly had the highest rank that a Freemason could get to. In the Freemasons records, it actually states that the group of men chose Count St. Germain as the representative for the convention in Paris that occurred that same year. Reported stating that he was 500 years old and knew not only the secrets to transmutating metals, but also the secrets of Egypt. It's a really weird tidbit, but the Freemasons even recorded this man as being present for the signing of the Declaration of Independence in 1775. Later in 1785, he was also seen in Germany with Anton Mesmer, a hypnotist. One of the ladies who was in the French court even recorded that she saw St. Germain 5 more times. One of those times being at of Marie Antoinette, and then of Duke de Berry in 1820. And then she saw him one last time a couple years before she passed away in 1822, reporting that each time he was unaged. In 1869, Helena Blavatsky, who was the founder of the Theosophical Society, claimed to have also encountered St. Germain. And she was like, hey, I have proof. Allegedly, this guy's name was St. Germain. So whether that was actually him or someone claiming to be him, I don't know. And she had claimed that this man had like transcended from the physical realm and that he was able to like levitate, go through walls, travel from place to place. She also believed that you could reach different spiritual planes through meditation and transcend the mortal body. Again, maybe this is just someone claiming to be him. I'd be like, Liz, this is really weird, but like, how did we get to New Orleans? Well, during the same time that the Count allegedly goes to a different state of consciousness, vampire panic and hunting starts to run rampant in America. Mercy Brown incident, which was like the most documented case of exhuming a corpse in order to perform a ritual to like banish the undead, happened in 1892, which caused a panic that lasted for years. Meanwhile, in 1902, guess who shows up to New Orleans? Oh yeah, St. Germain. What they discover in his house is shocking. So are vampires actually real? In 1902, a man by the name of Jacques St. Germain, peculiar, shows up in New Orleans. He was also known as a wealthy little hottie that was very sophisticated, a polymath, knew multiple languages. Very enigmatic traits, and also weird, he kind of resembled Count St. Germain. That's strange. This guy's name's Jacques. Well, Mr. Germain quickly became the talk of the town in New Orleans. Everyone loved him. He was charming, hosted lavish parties. Surely this must be a coincidence. People were very impressed with this man's extensive knowledge on history and culture and his collection of fine wines, but despite all of this, he was kind of known for not eating at these gatherings or parties. Actually even told people that he had like a diet of strictly oatmeal. Okay. This is when a very disturbing incident went down. According to the story, Mr. Germain ended up inviting a young woman back to his house. He allegedly attempted to bite her neck, but thankfully she was able to escape him, jump from the balcony, and she ran straight to authorities. So the police quickly rushed over to St. Germain's house in order to arrest him. They ended up finding a pretty shocking discovery. The authorities searched his home, and whenever they found his collection of wine, they found that the bottles were open and didn't just contain wine. It was said that there was human blood in them and fueled the rumors that this alleged immortal being was also a vampire. But people continue to see this man at like the signing of the United Nations Charter in 1945. And again, you might think that we're done with the story, but no. This man pops up again in the 1970s. This guy right here claimed to be him. Actually, I don't know if I see it. No, I actually see it way more in this photo right here. Regardless, this man, Richard Chanfray, said that he was the Count. He had a career in magic and became known as the man who could transmute lead into gold. He came close with a lot of celebrities and would even do like divination and psychic readings for them. He goes on a show in 1972 to prove the claim that he can actually turn metal into gold. And he does it. The TV show production company actually supplies the lead. And after he's done, they have someone come in and appraise it. Spanish TV reporter even said that he witnessed him bring a dog back to life for a second by throwing some projection powder over him, which is crazy. Whenever this man would go to parties in Europe, he would be able to share with accuracy the exact layout of all the secret passageways and everything that was within inside said castle or estate. But maybe he just read the blueprint. He passed away in 1983, and while there are some reports of him being seen in the early 2000s, this is probably the most like convincing one. This is genuinely just like one of the most intriguing cases of a vampire to me because of how many people reported having seen him. If you ever have thought that you might have had an experience with a vampire, I just want to say that I believe you. But to get back to my theory, I know that a lot of people from New Orleans ended up going up to Chicago. And so let's say everything surrounding the mysterious case of Count St. Germain is true. If he had actually found out the elixir to living longer and was a part of 2 secret societies that we know of, maybe it's possible that he was able to give other members this recipe. One of the Lyft drivers even talked about it looking like a gathering whenever she pulled up, so she was kind of like freaked out because she was like, wait, is this like a satanic thing? This is one of those cases that just has me really shook, so I have kind of wondered, hey, if he was able to figure out this elixir, allegedly, he was a part of secret societies, 2 that we know of or are aware of, maybe he was able to share some of the secrets of this elixir with other people. But if you have had an experience with a vampire, I just want to say I believe you because I do believe that like at least energy vampires exist. But there are definitely a few other cases of alleged vampires that mess me up. Another one being this girl right here, Elizabeth Bathory, who was said to have bathed in the of her victims. She's said to have murdered over 500 people. But I'm going to go into depth on her case over my YouTube, so if you want to watch it, go over there. But just a forewarning, it is gruesome.